Your song echoing around the stadium, how hard-earned was that?
Yeah, today it was not an easy game against a top team. Like we shouldn't not concede the goal before the half line, but we did well the second half to score in set pieces with a beautiful goal of JT. And now we have to keep going, and we are so happy to win today in front of our fans.
I've not heard this song for a little while. It's a catchy one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good, especially after a good win like this. So yeah.
Jurrien, it's the important thing. You get over the line in games like that, however you do it.
I think that's the most important thing, but at the same time, I think we deserve to win this game. First off, we don't give much away, and we go to the dressing room with 1-1, which is a bit of a shame, but I think we finish it off second half, which is top.
What is the game like that like when set pieces become so central to it? I know they're always important, but today, every corner you had, and to be honest, every corner they had looked such a threat.
Yeah, it's both sides. It's just, it became an important part of the game. I think it's always been, but now teams are focusing on it more, which is interesting, but I think it's in our advantage. Today we came out well, and I think overall we played a good game, and we can be proud of ourselves. We take 3 points, and then important game on Wednesday again.
William, back in the goals. I was very impressed that someone hasn't scored for a little while. He had a very slick celebration ready.
Yeah, it's been a while that I haven't scored, so yeah, today it was a bit strange that I scored because since 1 year I didn't score. So yeah, I'm so happy, and yeah, I hope I will keep going like this.
Jurrien, just tell us nicely, how are you enjoying the battle? Just 9 to go now. I think 5 left here at home, or is there too much on it to enjoy it?
We have to enjoy it, you know. It's a privilege to be standing here with my teammates, with Arsenal, fighting for these titles. I think you have to enjoy it. It's a beautiful place, and until now we've been doing it. And where you said 9 games to go, game by game, a lot of games to play, but we're enjoying it, and hopefully at the end something beautiful.
Well done, guys.
And you know, when you're watching these big games, the likes of Arsenal taking on Chelsea, they attract the big names as well. And it's the sort of place where you never know who's walking past the studio. Yaya Toure is in the house. Yaya, welcome. Very pleased to see you. Daniel, how much is this pair
This
worth,
is,
do you think,
we're talking at least 300 to 500 million right here. Come on, man, these two.
How does it divvy up?
These two are legends, come on.
Yaya, what did you think of that today?
I think the first half was okay. It was quite okay, good games, but I feel a bit disappointed in the end, you know, because we want to see flourish games, right? Fluid games, passing, attacking, scoring chances. But at the end of the day, we see 3 goals by set pieces for a derby. A bit strange. Yeah.
But does it matter if you're Arsenal and you're just trying to win your first title for 22 years?
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, I think so. Because winning today was obviously really, really important for Arsenal. But as a fan, I should, you know, I want to see more, you know.
What do you think, Patrick?
I think, from the Arsenal point of view, what really matters is the 3 points. It is really important for them. And of course, when you look at the game a little bit more deeper, scoring 2 goals on the set pieces, and it wasn't really open games. You expected Arsenal to go a little bit more forward. Obviously, Chelsea has a massive and a big part of the game because they were quite well organized defensively. So it was quite difficult for Arsenal to create chances. But of course, when you are top of the Champions League table, you are top of the league table, you are in a final in the cup, and you're still in a FA Cup competition. So the expectation is higher, and you expect more from this Arsenal Football Club. And today, yes, on the side of the game, creating, going forward, taking risk, we were, and I am a little bit disappointed, but the matter is for them is to win, taking the 3 points, and I think they did it well today. And
disappointed with which bit? With the style of football particularly, or that risk bit?
It's not about the style, because I think the style can be as well the fact that they didn't win the title for so long, so there is maybe a little bit of frustration and stress, because you want to do so well that you are not taking the risk that you are taking in the start of the season. So looking at where they are, and a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure can have an impact on their games. But I believe that there is enough experience, there is enough quality, there is enough personality for them to go on the field and to go to win the game. And I think today, set pieces make the difference.
They certainly seem to put their fans through it, Daniel, don't they? They don't do things easily.
Yeah, but I think the key is stopping them. You know, we can talk about the roller coaster in terms of performances and how they go about winning games. I think the entertainment value sometimes isn't there, but football's a game about winning, right? That's what you want to do. Yeah. So I think it's about how do you stop them being great at what they're great at. Clearly, set pieces is an area that they've worked on tirelessly. You got to have the players to be pinpoint deliverers of crosses. Then you need the aggressive players in the box. They've got all the tools for the players who want to have the first contact. All of them are aggressive in the box. And then when you talk about an open play, of course, they've got many ways to win games, but it seems as if set pieces is the one that works the best for them right now.
Yeah.
So use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I think they did well. Since the beginning of the season, they've always been doing well. I don't want to be too much rush, right? And I think Arsenal now they just at it, right? This season, I think I hope they're gonna end up good. But as Man City fans, you know, I think we are there. We're still behind them again. I hope they will soar at some point. But let's see.
Because it's in Arsenal's hands, but it's also in Manchester City's hands because the fact that they play each other and they have this game advantage. We can actually show you the fixtures that both have left. How do you see this then, in these closing stages?
Yeah, I think it's incredible how those two, titan of the leagues doing this year is incredible, especially Man City. Been struggled at some point in the beginning of the season, and now they're coming back very strongly.
They've won 4 on the bounce. Then it's Forest midweek. Then West Ham United before the Carabao Cup final. Do you think that could be a significant game? The fact they are playing each other in that final.
Yeah, I think it can be a turning point, right? Because for me, I'm opinion if Man City win that game, it will be big. Can be something, psychologically for Arsenal very strong, right? But I hope Man City is going to win the game because that one is going to be significantly for the rest of the season.
Can I ask you both? When you talk about your experiences that you've both been very successful legends of the game, like I talked about earlier on. From your experiences, Patrick, for you in 2004, your experience of maybe not winning the league for a few years and then going over the line from that psychological perspective, and for you, Yaya, similar, but in the sense of when Manchester City were always coming back to win the titles. What was that like psychologically?
Well, I think, of course, sometimes depends on the character of the player. For example, the first time when we win the league with Man City 2012, or before that, when we win the FA Cup, I think psychologically sometimes it's difficult when you have an opponent behind you who will pressure you a lot. For example, when you take an example now with Arsenal and Man City just fighting all the way, and the second round is, it's not that easy. And when you see as well your opponent like a Man City, you can leave them space, because if you, for example, make a mistake or you lose or you draw, they're gonna come right at you, and you have to be strong mentally, of course, but have that sense of, like Patrick was saying, for them it's important to win those kind of games because you have to understand that as Chelsea, that was always a big role of Arsenal and the London derby, and I think. Arsenal have to keep it going doing that because otherwise it's gonna cost them something because Man City for me, they're really gonna be Man City, right? They're always gonna try to finish strongly in the end. But let's see. I hope Man City will win, but
you're not sure. Do you remember, Patrick, the first one being different, in terms of that pressure and that psychological aspect that Daniel's referring to, that challenge of getting over the line for the first time?
And of course, there's pressure as a team. You want to do well, but there's a outside noise as well that you have to manage, you have to control. And I think when you're looking at Pep talking about Arsenal and saying that Arsenal is the best team at the moment, that is as well putting a pressure on the shoulder of Arsenal Football Club. And that is part of the game as well. But it will be really important, and especially when you get to the end of the season like that, there's a key games that you have to win. And it doesn't matter if you play well or bad. And I think today's games was one of them. But the key moment, I think, will be the game between Manchester City and Arsenal. I think that will be the decided game, because when you're looking at after that game, you expect both teams to win all the games of the season. So for me, the key moment and the important moment will be that game.
Yeah, they got the job now, and the title race, that's another psychological step in the right direction for Arsenal today, Glenn.
Oh, very much so. I mean, as I said earlier, as we just went off for the advert, City go and do what they did yesterday against Leeds, so the pressure's on them. And in the end, they weren't at their very best, Arsenal, by any means, but they've got a very stiff opponent and they've overcome them. And I said by hook or by crook, and it's taken 2 set plays, and we know they're excellent at set plays. It's part of the game. And they can lean on that at times, and they've proved that today. So psychologically, that is a massive boost for them. It really is going into the next game, because it's all about, it's coming quick and fast for Arsenal. They've got game after game, and they've got the squad to deal with it. But psychologically for the league, that is, right, OK, City, we've now put that gap against you again. Can you respond next week? And that's what it's going to be like till the end of the season, you feel.
Interviewer, they just asked them anything about how they're feeling coming into it. You know, especially after coming off of Tottenham last week, how they felt, you know, being 1-0 up and scoring so close to half-time. What was it like in the dressing room? And when you came, what did the manager say? And then once you've done it in the end, how you feeling? Because at the moment, like I mentioned before, Arsenal, you know, we're seeing in the second half again, they are get-atable. You can get at them. And Chelsea had 10 men there. You know, so it would be nice to find out what's happening to Arsenal in the second half, you know, from 2 players who do so well for Arsenal. But again, you know, it comes down like the gaffer said there, you know, you get the job done. But like, it's, again, I'm happy that the job's done, but I'm still like, I'm going to be nervous for the next game because I'm seeing that again in the second half.
I think earlier in the season there was games like that where they were difficult to get through, Arsenal. You couldn't create much against... There was morsels. If you're going to get half a chance, you got half a chance. You had to take it. It's not like that at the moment, you know, from Brentford to Wolves and whatever. And today, certainly as well, Chelsea did enough to have, I think, they went toe-to-toe at times and created...
They had more opportunities in the second.
Well, look at the goalkeeper. Look how the goalkeeper played.
Yeah.
Right, Raya for Arsenal was excellent. And he had to make some wonderful saves. And there was good opportunities as well. If they used the ball better, Chelsea, they might have been in. So that was, earlier in the season, it was, wow, this is a brick wall. Not only are they good going forward, they're scoring goals from set plays, but my word, defensively, they've got the balance right. And it wasn't like that, and it hasn't been like that. And I think Ian's right, it's a bit nerve-wracking for you, mate, isn't it?
It very much is.
But it was a tale of the corners, ultimately.
So it's 1-1 at half-time, and a tale of 2 set pieces. First of all, Patrick, Arsenal's very first corner.
First corner and first goal. We can see here Rice didn't defend really well. He's not really watching the ball. But we've seen here the defender Gabriel running at him, and with all this determination, aggressivity, he put the ball back in front of the goal, and Saliba had a really good reaction here.
Yeah, it's you can see the routine that they were trying to put. What I really love about this angle right here, you see he's almost using Reece James as leverage for his jump. It's important for you to have your head on a swivel in the box and anticipate where the ball's going to fall. Saliba does amazing in the action, and of course it was a nice... And you can see the players, they're going to the referee, come on ref, what we doing, what we doing?
What do you think, Daniel? They were talking about the fact that Declan Rice is engaged in physical contact and therefore is not being penalised for that.
It would have been soft if you ask me. Of course, the ball hits his arm. He's in a jostling match, in a physical battle with Hato, I think it was. Great reaction from the goalkeeper. Fantastic save from him. And that was a warning sign for Arsenal.
It's the quality of delivery again from Reece James. Why does this one hurt them, Patrick?
It's the quality of the delivery. I think the goalkeeper, Raya, is really difficult for him to intervene. There's so many body in front of him. But the quality of the delivery make a huge difference. Anybody can win the ball here. Unfortunately for Arsenal, it's their own goal, but really good for Chelsea.
And you heard Nkapie only just gets the slightest contact, but it takes it past David Raya. You heard Gary talking in commentary about the fact that the very first corner that Chelsea had in the game, it caused Arsenal problems, and it caused Nkapie problems at that near post as well. And you see him almost, Daniel, try and get out of the way. Is that in his mind, perhaps, then?
Well, this one, when we were watching it, I thought, is that going in the back of the net? I've seen the side of the net kind of ripple a little bit. And it is almost identical to the goal. This is clearly what Chelsea have worked on the training pitch. This is an area they feel they can exploit. Of course, the person who's putting the ball into the box has to have the ability to be able to make the cross. These are two almost identical pieces of corner play and delivery from Reece James. The difference is this time around, as you can see on the right side of the screen, the ball goes into the back of the net. But on the first action on the left, we're almost seeing a little bit of apprehension from Nkapie. And, you know, you can see the second one, it's almost like, man, I tried my best.
It's not just Arsenal that are good at corners, you know, Chelsea.
All square then at the Emirates at 1-1. As it stands, as you could see, if it finished that way, Arsenal would be 3 clear, having played a game more than Manchester City. So the tale of the set plays and the corner kicks in that first half. Arsenal, no surprise. We'll see in a moment the amount they've scored this season from corners. And this is another really well-worked one, mate.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to the delivery, but in this instance, you just have to watch Gabriel. You know what I mean? He's unstoppable to get up like that. Gaffy was saying about how he just pings Reece James there. He uses him actually to get more leverage, but he's unstoppable in those corners. And if the ball's good, it's literally a goal.
Yeah, I think it's clever what he's done. It's not a foul, but he's pinned him down. He's held his shirt in a way, and how he's got the header in as well, and concentrated on the flight of the ball. And yeah, it hits Sarr and goes in, but it's Saliba's goal without a doubt. It was on target, wasn't it? And you thought, well, 20 minutes in, that's the last thing Chelsea needed to do to go
His
1-0.
first Premier League goal in 15 months, and look at that. They're 15th from a corner this season. The joint record is only 16. Arsenal, West Brom and Oldham in the first year of the Premier League hold that. Now, we know that Chelsea got level from a corner, but prior to that, should they have had a penalty kick, Glenn?
I think they should have had a penalty, yeah. And, for a couple of reasons, maybe. One, Declan Rice is having a real battle. He's got his arms round the Chelsea defender there in the front there. I think it's Casado there. Look. Hato.
Yeah.
Hato is there. Look, he's got his arms round him, and his arm comes up towards the ball.
It's unnatural, isn't it?
And it's
Deliberate
unnatural.
movement.
It's a deliberate movement towards the ball in many ways. So it could have been 2 penalties in a way.
What about the
But
save?
what a save from Raya.
Unbelievable save.
I mean, that is just incredible.
You can see Enzo saying there, you know, your arms come up. It has come up. I'm baffled as to what they're looking.
So you wouldn't have had a problem if this was given?
No, I wouldn't have actually, because you look at Dex. He's actually holding him. If he's holding him, his arms are up there, and then, now it moves up. So you think to yourself, well, when I saw that, I thought, well, they're going to give a pen. But then again, you don't know what they're going to do up there. You look at the pen what Man United got today. I'm thinking that's definitely a penalty.
Yeah, no, for me, it was a penalty in 2. You could have given the foul. No one could have complained about the foul. You got 2 arms round him, pinning the player down. The arm goes up towards the ball. It's a definite penalty, and to be honest. But then, you know, Reece James's quality of going in was excellent all day. There's 2 other corners that came in, and there was causing all sorts of problems on that near post, and you felt that was a real danger to Arsenal, and eventually it comes that way from the
Anything
corner.
Arsenal could have done here for 1-1?
Well, again, you're looking at Declan on the near there, Gaffer. We know, and he's having a kind of like a real battle with Hato there. And I think you look at him and his back's turned. His back's turned. You see, so he's coming in here. So Hato's actually bringing him into the area where you ideally want to be. But then Declan's not looking. I'm thinking if Declan turns around, gets himself in front of Hato, he could probably head that away himself. But again, it comes down to a great ball in. When you get a ball in that's that good, it's very difficult to defend. So many bodies in there.
Nkapie's got he knows he can get his head to it, but he knows he can't clear it. He's just hoping and praying it's going to fly out the back past the post. But you've got to say, a beautiful delivery again. He does it with such ease, doesn't he, Reece James? Just 2 steps and just clips it in there, and they're putting all bodies in. And they've looked dangerous every corner, Chelsea. We talk about Arsenal's corners. Chelsea have delivered some really top-notch deliveries in there.
I remember seeing with Tony Allen, we used to practice those in at training, and the near post. And if you as a defender, if you can't head it that way, and you can get it to head it that way, so as you get it way over the back of the goal, I think he had a better opportunity of doing that than trying to get it out that way. But that's a whole different story, and my sadness at the moment.
We do see it in a lot of teams. Look at the ball. The ball's the thing you're trying to defend, the goal and the ball. The ball's got to go in the net. If Rice turns around, I think he heads that.
Yeah.
He's in a position, holding, not looking at the ball, gives another emphasis for a referee to give a penalty as well. So I don't know why they do it.
City did their job at Ellen Road. How are you feeling now? You've both got 10 games to play.
Yeah.
The gap is 2 points.
Well, obviously, I'd be a lot happier if the gap was a little bit larger than that. But this is what it's about for Arsenal, trying to get this last step done. And we've seen in the last couple of weeks the jittery nature in which they've tried to win these games. But the Tottenham game was one that they could take a lot of confidence from, even though I thought that Tottenham, and I said it to the gaffer, and I'm not saying it disrespectfully, well, I am, but... You know, I thought that Wolves...
It's taken him 30 seconds, man. 30 seconds. We had a sweet cake.
No, I thought the way Wolves set up in that game was... I thought Tottenham would have done the similar, but they didn't, and Arsenal punished them with that. But, like, we have to expect that City are going to beat all the teams. And, like, now, again, it's still in our hands. We have to beat Chelsea. You know, it's an away game. We have to beat Chelsea.
So you think, what you're saying there, if you think they're going to win all their games, they're going to beat Arsenal then?
Who? City. No, I think so, yeah, but if we win all our games from here, we'll be all right as well. I think they'll win all theirs.
Well, that's the equation for both of them, isn't it? That's the great thing.
Yeah.
I think both of us can.
Yeah, well, that's...
But there's a lot of people, Glenn, who've said this City team are different. They can't go on that winning run like the old ones.
Yeah, I can't see that.
With Semenyo and Gahey, they've almost given them like a kickstart, those two.
Absolutely. That's such a big lift for them. In the sense, I mean, I looked at their bench, you know, last night. And I thought they were excellent last night. After 20 minutes leads,
with no Haaland, we should point out.
With no Haaland, I looked at the bench and I'm like, wow, you know. And O'Reilly, who's been doing brilliant, has suddenly goes off because he's injured, and then you know Reiner's come on, or he could have had Foden on. I mean, that is strength in depth. Both teams, Arsenal and City, have got wonderful squads. But this lad, if there's ever been a player that's gone to a new club and hit the road running better than he has, I don't know, I haven't seen it. He's been outstanding, and he's not played really wide, is he?
No.
He's playing like a centre forward, off a perch, can float around, and he's affecting the game just when City need him.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real shot in the arm for City. Pep wouldn't have imagined that he would have come in and done this well that quickly.
Because they're telling Arsenal they're not going away. 3 weeks ago it was 9 points.
There's no way...
3 weeks later it's 2 points.
Yeah, there's no way that City would go away. Especially you mentioned Gahey and Semenyo, who have been brilliant. And then you add to that Cherky.
He's excellent.
O'Reilly, you know, pushing up even further forward and scoring goals as well. Like you mentioned, Foden's not playing, but you look at the City team who are chasing, and you could see that they're saying, right, OK, we'll show you. Because people are saying, oh, this isn't the City team. I don't think they can do it. I believe they can do it. Last night was a kind of attritional game for them because Leeds kind of hung in there. And then they won it with Semenyo coming through the centre and scoring the goal. But at the same time, there's something about them where they know all we've got to do is keep this pressure on them.
I've got an analogy for you, and you like your golf.
I like your analogies.
It's Arsenal now. People say about a major, the Masters, all the majors, like it doesn't start until the Sunday, the last nine, the back nine of a Sunday. That's when, and if you've got Scheffler or you've got Tiger Woods back in the day chasing you, somebody that's done it. Arsenal are just going into the back nine now. They're going into that back nine on a Sunday.
We've had moving Saturday, have we? So.
Well, we had moving Saturday. Yeah. They had a little bit of a, you know, they've overcome that, Blim, a couple of results. But for me, that's like it is. They're under pressure now mentally, and they haven't done it. The others have, and they're chasing them. They're waiting for that mistake in that back nine when it all becomes a little bit tight for a player that hasn't done it before.
And Gaffer, what it is, all Arsenal have to do, they just have to finish par this nine. Just finish this nine in par and you do it.
Yeah. But they've taken 13 points in the last 24.
Yes.
Which has to be a concern at this stage of the season.
Well, of course it is, because when you look at some of those games, you look at you look back at the Liverpool game, you look at the Forest game, look at the Wolves game, look at these games where Arsenal have, even going to the Manchester United game, where those are the kind of like the jitters that you're going to get, that we've had in the past and we've not quite seen it through. This season, people are saying the squad's stronger, they should get through, and they are stronger, and we should get through it, but we are still, you know, joint top scorers with City, conceded the least amount of goals. You know, we're not letting in goals where people are playing through us, Gaffer, and opening us up. We're making mistakes, goalkeepers getting beaten with some really great strikes. So it comes down then, Steve, Gaffer, to just focusing on what we're doing and being strong in what we're doing, because we're still in front.
Those mistakes are like a golfer in that back nine. The one at Wolves, you know, they're 2-0 up. they're coasting, and suddenly
We miss a free footer.
you know, you miss a 3-foot putt. Exactly. So what does that do? It plays on your head.
Yes.
Well, what they did is they went to Tottenham and they put Tottenham to rest. And that was a great mental strength they showed there to say, look, North London derby, we're hearing all the noise, but we're better than you, particularly the team that's...
And they're very strong at home, Glenn. They've won 10 of 13 home games. So what chance Chelsea playing a part in this title race and upsetting any of the odds today?
Well, Chelsea are a side, actually. They've got enough about them that on their day, they can upset anyone. I mean, cast your mind back. I've never seen a team play so well with 10 men at the Bridge.
Yeah.
They should have won that game against Arsenal.
Yeah.
They were excellent with 10 men, and they have got players that, if they perform, that can hurt you. They're going to have to play exceedingly well to get something over at Arsenal. It's not been a really good place for them to play recently in years.
Thomas Tuchel, the last manager to win.
Yeah, well, exactly. So they went there in the Cup, in the League Cup, but they were a deficit of a goal behind and had to make it a little bit cagey the way they played. I think they'll go a little bit more gung-ho here. I think Liam would have learned a little bit from that and said, look, we got to go from here. We've got to go for the throat, that make them nervous. Make them nervous, something that Spurs really didn't do last week.
No, I think that's the thing. I feel that what's happened with Arsenal in those games that I mentioned just now is they have got into the phase of the game, the stage of the game, where you can feel the nerves. Mm-hmm. And that's the stage of the games where you want people to want the ball and to keep playing, because you have to play through those. Because those are the times where you've seen us, we've made mistakes, and they've come back. You watched that Wolves game, I was watching it with my son, we was doing that telephone watching, texting watching, and he said, they're going to score, Wolves are going to score. Because you could just feel it, because it seems like we just didn't rise with it and get hold of the fact that we're under pressure now and keep pushing forward and playing, because we're not letting in goals. We're not letting in goals unless we make mistakes. So let's go and play how we've been playing.